It's time for another live stock talk. I'm your host, Trey Trades. I just always want to say that. Always wanted to say that. Anyway, we're gonna talk about stocks. Let's see. Hopefully, you guys can come and join me live. How do you know when I'm live? You gotta click the bell and all of that because I just be going live, man. Click the bell, get in here, let's talk because I want to talk about the stocks you want to talk about. But let's talk about the market real quick. Let's see what happened. It's been a couple of days. I missed a video. It's been a couple of days. It's been a kind of a wild ride. Like the Dow was up, the S&P was up on Friday, but the Nasdaq was hit hard, and it seems like the Nasdaq kind of lost its mojo ever since Google came out with the ChatGPT version. What was that called, man? Is it Brat AI? Broad AI? You remember, Deborah? Remember when I told you about that? Look that up for me real quick. Oh, maybe you can't. Yeah, I'm live. Yeah, it takes a little bit. Look up that Google Chat GBT competitor. Yeah, you should get the notification now. It looks like it just came through. Yeah, so they came out and like, hey man, look what we got. The market sold. I'm sorry. Oh man, I don't think it's the end for Google. I was one of the first to put it out there. I was like, is this the beginning of the end for Google? If anything is gonna take it down, right? It's been nothing that you could even think of. I mean, Google had a 22-year run, even longer. And now there's something in sight. It doesn't mean it's over like tomorrow. It's just something that this is kind of interesting. But Google's the leader. You got to give them time to do what they do best, and that's search, and that's all that stuff, right? We all go to Google. It's a verb, man. Google it, right? You don't say Bing it like Microsoft. Bing it. Ask me it. Jeeves, ask Jeeves it. Alexa, forget about it. She's gonna say, Siri, forget about it. It's Google it. So give them time to work it out. And I think that if it keeps going down based on they're going out of business or whatever, it's time to scoop some Google shares up because they're not going nowhere. What? Yeah, it's showing. It's like, yeah. All right, I got to do some technical analysis and make sure it's saying it's unlisted. Let me go ahead and change this video. You're right. Why would it say unlisted? It should be coming now. I'm gonna go say public. Let me know if you get a notification. I gotta keep this going. All right, so let me keep it going. I just made the video public. It took a little bit, and my bad. Anyway, so what was we talking about? All right, you got the notification? Good. Notification come out a little late. What we was talking about was Google's just flop, coming out with that bad, chat. Did you look that up for me? Google's answer to Chat GBT or something. So anyway, it came out and they was down like 8%. I think the market even rallied that day. Poor Google. And look, it's just, so let's just look at it. All right, let's look at it. I don't know why I talked about it. Let's look at the Qs because the title of this video is, what did I name it? Is the tech bounce over, right? Because tech was, man, we was rallying, man. Ever since the beginning of the year, it was nice. Here's the low, right? And we went all the way up to, this is the Qs. This is 20.45%, man. That was a beautiful rally. I mean, that's bull market, 20% rally. I mean, it's a nice, can you call that a bounce? I mean, let me see, 10% correction, 20% down would be bear market, but 20% up would be bull market, right? So let's just see what happens. It had that breakout, and I'm like, is it a false breakout? You look right here. Let me see if I can zoom in and see that gap right over the resistance, and this LAMDA. I don't know what that ain't it. It's called something AI, like broad AI. Anyway, so here's the jump up, right? The gap, and then you can see we're filling the gap. So maybe that's all maybe that's all what the move is about. Just fill the gap, maybe go sideways and maybe go a little higher. If you come out to the weekly on the Qs, you could see that we did hit another area of resistance, kind of right here, almost at right at that top. This is going to be a not the best drawing. I got lines all over the place. Oh no, that's not it. That's the name of the company that did chat AI. I got my technical research team is working to get you answers. Anyway, but anyway, yeah, I'm deep over here. I got a research team. Anyway, alive. So you can see it hit that area of resistance. And is it a pullback? And maybe we just go sideways and then we start to take off again. So this is kind of critical. I do think if we do break this area of support, this is the cues that maybe we just go back to the downside. There you go. There you go. She found it. VA Bard AI. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Bard. I don't know. Maybe they didn't like the name. That is a stupid name, though. Anyway, the research team, the Dre Trade research team is on it. So we got the downtrend line. So maybe we kiss the back of it and then go up. I don't think there's really nothing necessarily to worry about yet. This is the weekly candle. So the volume, it didn't even reach the average volume for the week. So we had this nice volume rise and volume going up. We had a
Do you have your chats open?
yeah. Why you can't chat?
Oh, did you see Cashmatic on there?
Hey, what's up? Yeah, I gotta change the screen to do that. Hey, what's up, Cashmatic? So gap open. Well, I forgot what I was talking about. Yeah, I think we kissed the backside of that downtrend line, and because we did break out. So let's just see if we're gonna break back down, right? So I mean, it was a hell of a rally for a month, 5 weeks, up 20%. It didn't really matter what you bought, so we'll see what happens. Maybe just a little pullback, but it seemed like it just kicked off by Google. Now let's talk about Google since the research team found it. Bard. Anyway, so here's the charts, the weekly. You can see I got that red line of resistance. And you know what? The stock did exactly what it was supposed to do. It was supposed to go up and hit that red line. It was supposed to struggle there, and it was supposed to kind of pull back. So you almost can't even look at the news or what happened. But when you do look at it, it's like, man, it was a hard pullback off of it, so we'll see what happens. This one did breach that uptrend, right? See, it's the downtrend line, right? And it did breach it. So we'll see. And it closed on its low. So maybe this was a fake, I can't call it a fake breakout because it didn't really break out, but it did peak its head above the area of resistance. So let's see what happens. Let's just hope it doesn't break down. Let's look at a level to see where it can go to. Matter of fact, it's sitting at that level right now. That's an area of support, basically. So clear this line out. You can see it's right there. Might open a little lower Monday. No, take that back. It touched it. It touched it to the penny. See, if you draw these support lines and these resistance lines, it'll give you some pretty good clues of when the stock is going to turn or bounce, right? But and we'll know. You can almost buy it now and you get out on this candle low, right? So the low of this is 93.63. If it breaks that, it's probably going lower. If it closes below that, all right? So, right, and then the next area looks like the low of this candle is swing low right here. So this low is 84.86. We'll see what happens. Huge, goodness gracious! Look at that volume, man. People was bailing on Google. They think it's over for Google technical research team. They think it, huh? They do. They think it's over. It's over. No one Googling. Google is over. Anyway, so I don't think so. But it could be the beginning of the end. Maybe. But give the it's like Jordan having a bad game, You might have a bad game, but then you come back and you win more championships. Anyway, so yeah, we'll see what happens. Huge volume. Gosh, look at that volume. Hey, look, so it could be a washout. Like, last time we had volume like this was clear back here. And then look, it was a low, right? It was a low. But This huge volume, so maybe it'll be some kind of bounce up on Monday. That's crazy. It's insane. Only difference between this one and this was coming down and we kind of washed out. It was like that capitulation low. And this one, it was at the high, but we're coming down, so it's kind of weird. It could be some more to go, but definitely very interesting. But basically, let's get back to it. Stock did what it was supposed to do. It hit that resistance and just pulled back. So we see what happens. We'll see how low it goes. Maybe it just goes sideways and all that. Now, you know who was a boss this week? The stock that I was in, and that was Tesla. Until yesterday. Until yesterday, it wasn't a boss no more. So the market was down, like, was it Thursday, Wednesday, whatever, and Tesla was just up. If the market was up, if it had one of those, like, say yesterday, this thing would have been, who knows? It would have just been a lot higher. Maybe it was still would have pulled back. So the pullback that it experienced, let's look at the weekly candle. Don't like it. Don't like how it ended the week. But you look at it. Hold on, I'm lost for words. Let me think here. I'm lost for. I don't like the weekly candle, but look at the volume. Its course is gonna pull back, right? So let's just see what happens. If this thing was rallying into just all that bearishness, the down days, it was still just going up, and this one did exactly what it's supposed to do as well. Actually, it did a little better than that because the resistance was down here at 200. It hung out here for like a day. Let me pull up the daily candle so you can see it a little better. Yeah, it hung out there for like a day and then blew above it right to the next one, 212, 213, then came down hard, cleared, where are we at? Below 200. So that sucks. That's why that weekly candle was ugly. So the rejection of the 213 and just to bring it all the way back down below that area of resistance, which became support. Now it's kind of resistance again. It just makes it go, it's a little depressing, but Google had a hell of a run. The thing was up basically 100, and let's call it 13% from the low, because the low was basically $100, so up, pull back, I don't know, 5%. Yeah, the 5%, nothing. It was up 112%, so that's crazy, right? So let's see what happens. Let's see where it gets its support at. Since it was hardly none on this up run, but right here, this 183 looks like it's going to be a little level right here. I'm not looking back this way. I'm looking at this immediate run, right? So we came up, we struggled, we came up, right? Of course, there's one here now, and now we come in here, and then I think the next one is right here. So let's just see what happens. It did bounce off that level and kind of came back up. So I actually think that this 192 is going to hold, and let's hope it does. But I think it's a little too soon to call the bull rally, the bull run, or the bounce, or whatever you want to call it, a bounce, right? I think we're taking a break. Let's just see how low we go. And speaking of low, let's see what the VIX looks like. Let's see how nervous everyone was. And still got Cashmatic in here. Let's look at some more comments. Y'all got any comments or anything you want to talk about specifically on FBIX? Wow, so the VIX was down. Yeah, the VIX. Look at that candle on. That's the daily. What's that, babe?
Oh, wait. You're behind me.
I am?
I'm behind you.
I'm looking at the weekly now. Let's look at the daily. I was just looking at this candle. Look at that right there. That's an interesting candle. I thought this was going to be a week. But wow. So the VIX started popping and they sold it off. They basically was, buying puts left and right. And all of a sudden they got rid of them. But heavy, if you were to chart the VIX resistance right here. And this did exactly what it was supposed to do as well, right? So all these guys here, just so it did this inverse or inverted hammer pattern. This is a strong candlestick, meaning when you see that get rid of this right here so you can see this is a strong candlestick. It basically means that let me see, we opened here, right? And then we kind of went up, right? And then boom, it gets rejected, it goes all the way down here, and then it closes here, like a negative. It's like it's just rejection, right? Rejection up here. The move rejected. Like it wants to go down, especially it's more of a serious candlestick when it is at the top of a move, right? So if you see this in the middle of a move, like say this move here, let me see, kind of like this hammer here. See, it's in the middle of a move. That's nothing, right? But when it's at the top, that could be big, right? And you see a pullback coming down to the bottom. So let's keep an eye on the VIX. The VIX is basically saying, it's nothing to worry about. People, they think the market is fine. Tech definitely overran, right? Tech was it just took off and it's a breather. So what, Friday, we had the Dow up, we had the SP up, back to the industrials and all that stuff. And markets going higher. Let's look at the small caps. I did a small little move in my TSP account and made all my contributions go to small cap 50%. No, I think I did. I was always C fund, which is like SP 500. I think I did 33, 33, 33. So I did some EEM, emerging markets, basically, or international, small caps, and then C, which is S&P 500. But you look at the IWM in the channel. Let's start from clear back here. Sitting at the high, waiting to break out, and I drew it wrong. Right, and this kind of did what it was supposed to do as well. Bounced up here, pull back. So I actually think, I'm going to say it. All right, what do I think? Because a lot of the people that do this stuff, they won't tell you what they think is going to happen. They just say, this is happening, you figure it out. This is what I think is going to happen. I think that we're just going to pause a little bit, and I think we're actually going to blow through these levels. We're just going to blow through. It's doing what it's supposed to do. I don't think we go back down, right? Like here was a high or low, and we just, hold, and I think we're just going to gap up one day for whatever reason, don't know, but we're just going to blow through and start going higher. More of the shorts are going to have to start buying back in and blah, 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 and just kind of go up. So that's what I think is going to happen. Just my guess. I could be wrong, but it seems like everything, looking at the charts, and you really got to factor in that tech run, meaning it was huge. It's something to pay attention to. Also, the pullback is what it was supposed to do. Okay, so but now I'm gonna have the IW just right here, just waiting to explode. IWM. Look at emerging markets, which is the EEM. This one really got overextended. That was a crazy move too. I'm gonna come out on the monthlies on this. And this one is more like trading a range. You see that. So like I told you, I went to EEM. I went to EEM in the oil like run. I'll look up oil. I went to the EEM. Yeah, on the TSP fund. Yeah. And when it gets up here, I'm out. See, I even got my little circle right there. But oil, OIH. Yeah, just steady, right? This is the Van Eck ETF oil services. And then I'm gonna pull up the USO in a second here. But yeah, just nice and doing its thing in the channel, heading higher. You got that crossover. That's the monthly. Let's look at the weekly. A little bit more volatile on the weekly, but yeah, it's doing its thing. I wonder why gas prices are going up. USO. And here's the USO, a little bit more flat, but a crossover is trying to happen right now. It's in a consolidation mode, right? So we'll see what happens with that. Volatility coming in. This is going to be a volatility squeeze, meaning after that, some volatility expansion, meaning after that, big moves. Okay, so big moves in oil's coming. Don't know when, but it's squeezing right now. Like, when do you see these? See my little green line, my little red line moving out? When do you see them together, right? Looking, right? You don't. Anytime like here, see this together, little squeeze, and then look at the run, right? No, not together. Here is together, and then you had a huge run down. right? So this is going to be a big move, either up or down. Okay, so it's not necessarily guaranteed to go up, but it looks like, I don't know. If I were to take a guess, to tell you the truth, it's weird. The US OIH looked good. The USO, I think it's looking a little. It wants to turn, but then again, it's just looking a little bearish, at the same time to me. Look, I'm looking at that, it's this little, gosh, I can't even think of the word. Not contradiction, divergence. Yeah, it's like a little divergence. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Keep an eye on you're probably gonna have a big candle to end this, and just keep an eye on that little crossover right there. That's what I would do. Like here, right, means sell, and that was a good move. You got out here, it was a good move, right? And the last time these things crossed was here. You got in here, good move. These charts basically told you to get in right there and get out right here, which is right there. Well, here's the crossover, but price was here, so you would have got out there. And you captured that move. You're on the sideline. You're waiting to see what happens, right? So this chart trades well. I love the weekly. I mean, the weekly, you can figure this stuff out. So yeah, stay away from the dailies. This dailies is chop, man. Look at that. How could you figure that out? Look at that thing. Can't figure that out. All right, so yeah, so that's oil. Right. Let's look at, we had let's look at Nvidia, because Nvidia slowed down big time. Yeah, these guys, everyone was on board. I mean, people just lost their mind over some chat GBT and just think Nvidia is in charge. Nvidia, all right, I guess I'm going to talk fundamentals a little bit. Nvidia, I don't want to say, all right, I like Nvidia. I think this is they're great, just like the people are buying. But if I remember their last report, did they just report? When did they report? I'm gonna have to look that up, but maybe the quarter before, not this recent one. If they reported, the AI is just not happening yet. It's still they got crushed because they can't sell chips in China or whatever it was, and they got crushed because Ethereum merged and people's getting rid of video cards, and eBay is flooded with Nvidia cards, so and the AI thing was just a little slow motion, you know what I mean? So and that's what brought it down. So if you look at the monthly, this is what was happening. Right? It's just all of that, what I was just talking about. And now it's coming up. And by the way, all that AI stuff, that's what kind of was bringing the run up as well, along with cryptocurrencies and all that stuff, right? So in Ethereum, but bring it down. It's Ethereum, proof of stake, no more proof of work. And the AI is a little slow, and people, graphic cards are just for computers are just not being put out like that. All that pull forward is forward. There's no more pull forward, and you just gotta wait until people need more computers and stuff. So it kind of just hit all of that at once. All right, fell off, and then now all of a sudden the AI thing, and they just think this is gonna just run like that. And I don't know, man. I have to do some more research into it. This is when I was really tracking the video a little closer. But we got to see where they are as far as their AI. All right, I'm not really that, but here's the breakout. So the breakout happened, right? That's the monthly. Let's go back to the daily. Yeah, the break. They're just insane. And I said, hey, I think it's irresponsible if you were to get in right now. That's what that circle is right there. And remember, I said, buy it maybe at least if you're interested in it, when it gets to this moving average, right? And it's right there, because it's way overbought. If you're going to step your toes, and maybe down here, it's actually pulling a secondary, this is the primary trend line right here. And then this is a secondary, and it's right here. I'm going to draw it. And it kind of crushed it and came back up. Pull up the weekly now. See that, right? So this is the trend line ever since it started going up. That's the primary one, right? Bounce, bounce, and probably get another bounce somewhere over here. Then all of a sudden it wants to take flight and head this way, right? So here's the trend line now. It wants to go that way, even more up. It looks like it wants to break through that, you know. So, and if it breaks through that, where do we go, right? Where do we go? Maybe here, a couple of levels, you know, maybe here. This is the 187. I knew I was doing something different with this video. Gotta put on my glasses. Okay. A little foggy. Nah, I'll be all right. What's this high? 187.90. Let's just call it like 190. Right, so here we go. That's one level, and then if it breaks that all the way to the backside of this uptrend or the downtrend, so somewhere down here, which happens to be basically a tag of the uptrend line. So this area is critical, and that is 164. So it's 212. If that would have happened, I mean, the techs are really having a bad time, right? They're going to be coming down, and people just selling off that NVIDIA. We could also do something like this, go back to the daily chart, look at that run. Let's clear all of this stuff out, clear the drawing set, and let's go to look at the old Fibonacci's. I don't bring out Fibonacci's too much. Right, so here's the move. The 50% retracement is 184, and the 61.8, which is what I like the most, 173. Now, what did I say that level was? 168 or so. So there it is, 173. You know, right in that area. It's actually hitting this level right here. Right, so let's see. Let's see if the fibs are gonna pull it back. But that was and you know what? If that would have happened, it's normal. That's normal, right? So if you was in it, you know, you could take some profit. It's just not going to keep running up in this environment straight up, making all-time highs and all. It's not going to happen. There's definitely some FOMO in there in this trade. But remember that V bottom video? It's a V bottom. I mean, yeah, V bottom. V bottom. Anyway, I think it's gonna. I think the pullback is. I don't think the pullback is going to be that huge. You know, I think we actually just might come up to this level right here, which is this high, the 187, 190. Yeah, I think more like the 50% retracement, maybe not even quite there. So that's going to be my guess. And see what happens. Big selling on that. I mean, the stochastics overbought, you know, and almost crossing over there. So see what happens with that. And this is the weekly, right? If you look at the daily, it's already kind of coming down, but got a gap. Got a gap on the. No, that's not a gap. Is it? Not quite. It's a little bit of gap there. I was gonna say, will it fill? But you know, you could see it a little better. Here's your next level, 195. Then here's your next level. Notice these fib levels are sitting right there, right where they should be for the most part. So I'll keep this chart up and we'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep an eye on that in the video. All right. I'm gonna pull up. We talked about this one the other day. It's just I had no idea this thing was reaching an all-time high. Look at that. I say it pulls back into this range, you know, but wow, that's incredible. I have to do research on this to see. Yeah, do you want to buy that there? You know, it's incredible. At least you got to wait until it hits these averages. It's incredible. I tell you what took off. A favorite stock of mine, Top Golf or MODG. How it came back in. Had great earnings. They sold it off. Okay. Got to see what's up with that. Right? So something funky happened right here. See that? Anyway, but I like this stock. I like it a lot. I think that's definitely some buying action right there. And for the most part, so tech sold off. SMH. I'm gonna pull it up and end with here because it was NVIDIA. We talked about Google and all that. Maybe I'll bring up AMD after this, but this is a pullback down 1.68% on for the week. Let me go back to the daily. Keep finding myself coming back and forth, but look, it's right there on that uptrend line a little bit. It's not the greatest one. Then you can do this one right here. This one kind of, right? I'll tell you what, if they come down, they got a way to go. Oh no, I don't like this line at all that I drew, but it's got some room to fall. This is almost looks like a better for the Fibonacci, just like we did with NVIDIA. Just kind of measure that. I don't want to measure this move, but this move. If I zoom in, just kind of do like that to that. Right, so the 50% will be this 226. Let's train at 244, 226. Yeah, and it puts you right at the top of these guys right here. So that's what I think this SMH is going to bring into, just kind of come back into that area. Can it get lower? Of course. It can come all the way down to this, you know? So actually, if it's a slow trickle down, it will be in line with this area right here. So SMH, AMD, just looking at all these chips. Wow, AMD was kind of weak, down 2%, but not looking as strong as the NVIDIA and the SMH. Nice little breakout candle. Yeah, look at that. I remember now. I was talking about this, I think the day before this broke out like that. And look, broke out strong. Would see that big body candle. What was that stock I was talking about that said it's going to be something big? Can't remember. But this is what it's going to be. That kind of candle. This is what I'm actually thinking is going to happen to a lot of the stocks. We talked about the IWM and the EEM, small caps, internationals, emerging markets. I just think that we're just going to blow through, and we pull back, we kind of hang in there, and then we blow through and move up some more. So that's my guess. I don't think we're going back to the lows or any kind of huge sell-off. I know they're talking about recession, but you know, the market looks way ahead of that. Or maybe it is going to be the soft landing everyone is talking about, you know. So the inflation, I think we have CPI and PPI coming out next week. That's going to be huge, and those could be market movers, especially if the CPI is like, I don't think it'll be negative, especially if they lower than expected. We'll go with that. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and end it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, comment. Let me know what you're looking at, and let me know what you want to talk about so I can talk about it in the next video. So this is Dre, and I am out. Enjoy your weekend. See ya. Peace.